The mind is a master of holding and grabbing your attention. And attention is powerful. The mind will give you multiple tasks to do throughout the day. It will keep you and your mind full of imagination, of projections in life, of what's next and what happened yesterday and how to respond to your boss this day and how to interact with coworkers and a list of must do and things that you need and fears. It'll bring up things to watch out for when it comes to the children and make sure this, and it just occupies so much time, so much energy is spent with the mind and attention. It can keep you. Some people stay in their minds. I mean, they barely have a chance to rest. I mean, it's just one image after the next, one thought after the next, one task to do, and I forgot this. And as you're doing one thing, it's hard to focus on one task because the mind has already got you 2 to 3 tasks next after you have done and completed that task. It's like it's never a moment to rest and just think in the moment. The mind is master of grabbing and keeping attention. As you sit throughout the day, what are some of the things that you find yourself placing your attention on? Is it the bills? How they're going to get paid, or where's the money going to come from, or is it going to stretch enough for the next month? Maybe it's on your children and they got in a fight with Jimmy yesterday. How are they going to respond today? Am I going to get any calls from the teacher? Did they turn in their homework, or how they're dealing with the bully at school or peer pressure? Is it on your spouses? You find yourself perseverating on the relationship and whether or not the relationship is strong. Or maybe it's on the future and how you're going to work this, what we call life, out in order to attain everything that you're working on. How long does the mind keep your attention? Is it on your work? Maybe it's your work. Find yourself thinking about work, or some people also is past traumas. Sometimes the mind will replay the trauma over and over as if it was today. You find yourself getting angry over and over, or sad, or crying about something that happened that was in the past. Do you find yourself fretting over things that may happen in the future? Or even getting excited about things that are to come? Where should attention be? Attention is very powerful. And it is a way for the mind to continue to control, to dictate, to create needs and attachments and confusion, chaos, and false hopes. One that is constantly under the mind is unaware of the truth of themselves. So mind has not really the power, but the mind will keep you as long as there is no awareness that you're being kept. So it looks like control, but As long as there's awareness of that rest within you, it's really not a true control. Although the mind is controlling. Says you must do this and you need to go here, and if I don't do this, you know, sometimes it gives you tasks that makes you feel like that if you don't complete them, you know, like time is running out. I can remember when I first started realizing myself, you know, I felt like even with that, the mind was telling me, time is going to run out. You got to hurry up and do this. You got to get free, you know. As if I was bound, you know. It was telling me all this stuff that, you know, it gives you false perceptions, false hopes. And if there's pleasure, of course, there's always going to be a dualistic aspect of that. You will experience pain. It gives you a lot of experiences that will never I guess the word is live up to the promises that they give you. You know, yeah, once I get here, then I'll get, you know, that's the mind. Once you know, it's always a reward that doesn't quite add up. And then sometimes when you do, maybe buy that car that you've always wanted, then you rest back into your true nature and you feel that when desire is met and you feel the fruits of that reward as happiness and joy, which is just you relaxing back into that true nature. And then down the line, the mind will give you something else that you need in order to be happy. And that's what attention is. Attention, if you give the attention to things that promises and false hopes, things that will never live up to the expectations, that's the power of attention. And it can keep you in a cycle of suffering. So where should we rest our minds? In that quiet place, right? With some say within the heart, but is the heart really within? It's just, to me, it's everywhere. But I'll say within the heart for now. Should rest, having the mind, as long as the mind is resting peacefully within your heart, you will always suffering comes to an end. The chaos begins to get quiet. The need begins to subside. The next comes to rest in the moment. And joy is it's not really an experience, it just emanates from within. Without that peace resides. Find yourself resting your attention in that quiet space within your heart, allowing it to just bloom and blossom. Even in the midst of the changing, the actions of the day, the people, the relationships, the bills, and all of that, if there's just a quietness, there's just an attention that just stays on the heart, no matter whether the mind is quiet or not. It doesn't have to be quiet, but we don't have to continuously give it attention. Initially, we observe our thoughts. And when you do that, it kind of creates a separation between you, your true nature, and your thoughts. You start to realize that your thoughts are not you. And initially, you do observe your thoughts. And that comes also with self-inquiry, asking who is asking these things, who's, whatever is coming up in the mind. All that, it has a time, but after you recognize that the mind is fickle, then you turn attention within into the heart. Leave it there. Let it sit there and rest quietly amongst all the experiences and the activities of the day and all the bill paying and picking up the children and cooking, and let the attention remain in your heart and watch your life. Watch what we call this life, but watch everything that love just bloom and grow, and how your world will change if you quietly. It will become, instead of the mind being the master of you, it will sit quietly resting inside the heart, and in the heart, intuitively, you will go with the flow. But yeah, that's what came up, was just allow attention to rest in the heart. And it's a beautiful, everything just shines more bright when you're able to experience everlasting joy. And you are yourself. And it's not really an experience or just be, but it's just a beautiful, beautiful expression when you can live this life in that expression of love. No matter what. Even if you find your attention wavering, and sometimes it will go up to the mind because the mind gets loud, you can bring it right back to the heart. Sometimes it goes out to other things, as long as you have a recognition, and just allow it to turn back to the heart. After a while, the moments of it being outside of the heart will be less. And occasionally it'll, glance out, or something may happen where the attention is moved, but it will become the forefront of all experiences, the forefront of all interactions and activity, or whatever we're doing, or whatever expressions we have in this lifetime. You'll find that attention on the heart, or just being, will be ever present. And you won't get into patterns of forgetting yourself anymore. I can remember when I first started to realize myself, initially there was a forgetting. And I would have to remind myself, I am this awareness. I am that source of life. I am not my mind. I am pure awareness. That was one of the mantras sometimes I would just say to myself over and over. I am pure awareness. When I felt the chaos begin to feel like it was overcoming, or the mind getting too loud, I would just repeat that when I felt suffering because of the mind. That would be one of my mantras. But then after a while, the forgetting stopped. And then just this ever-present being of love, joy, and peace just remained. And yes, attention might come to, to go out to the mind occasionally, but there was always a remembering and always resting back into my true nature. And more so, even now, it's ever present. There's no more forgetting. And the expression of life is just love every day. And there may be things that come up that you respond in any way that you need to. And sometimes that is an argument. Sometimes that may be with words that may not seem to be as pleasant as as it could be. You may fuss. I'll just put it like that. And to me, that's all expression of love, because love is not just one thing. As long as my attention remains in silence, I'm acting in silence, regardless of what that expression looks like. But thank you. I don't want to keep going on and on, but thank you for spending this moment with me. Remember that you are beautiful, and I love you.